Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It has been a while since I did a live stream. I know it's a very, very random one. I did not announce it. I'm just doing it today. Cause I just have a few things weighing deeply on my heart, and just wanna share and dialogue. I have my phone here. I'm going live. Possibly I can maybe interact with a few comments. Let me know if you are watching, where you're watching me from. I'm on Twitter right now. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm streaming on all platforms right now. Just connect with me. I'll be trying to toggle between all the platforms so that I can see all the comments. Particularly, I wanna talk about current affairs. I wanna talk about what is currently happening in our nation and in the nations of the world. And I just wanna exhale about a few things. I think we are a people who are living. I'll borrow the words of Charles Darwin. Charles Dickens, not Charles Darwin. Hey, Darwin. Hey, I don't like that guy, Darwin. Darwin is the guy who came with the theory of evolution. I dislike the guy. Nonsense fella. He was a racist of note. He was an elitist of note, and he even recanted his own teachings towards the end of his life. But rather, I'd like to borrow the words of Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, famous author. He's famously known for the book A Tale of Two Cities. And it has got a beautiful preamble, a beautiful introduction to the book. He says it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I have the same narrative for today. Today is the best of times. It's also the worst of times. We're living in a time whereby freedom is the order of the day. Democracy is the order of the day. We're trying to better society. I think we're living in a time whereby we have reached the apex of civilization. We've reached the apex of society. But with all our learning and with all our advancement, we have regressed so much with regard to our moral fiber, with regard to our belief systems. I believe we have degenerated. We have lost it. We're losing the plot. The Bible says the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. This is a popular rhetoric today. It is popular not to believe in God. It is popular to be atheist. It is taboo to believe in God. It is taboo to have faith. It is taboo to believe in something. And that is what we are facing in our generation. In fact, there is nothing wrong with believing in something in our generation, as long as you don't believe in the God of the Bible. It's okay in our generation to believe in anything. You can believe in the universe. You can believe in energy. You can believe in anything whatsoever. You can even say my God is a she. You can say anything and the world will celebrate you. But don't you dare speak about the God of the Bible. And that is the challenge we are facing with today. There is so much religious pluralism. And what is religious pluralism? Religious pluralism simply says that there are many religions in the world. There are many beliefs in the world. And there are many ideologies in the world. And all of them are equally true. That's what religious pluralism says. They're all equally true. They are just different cultural expressions of the same thing. I disagree with that statement with every fiber of my being. With everything I am, I disagree with that theology. I disagree with that ideology. In fact, it's just leading us into a pantheon. The Greeks had a pantheon of gods that they worshipped. It's just leading us back to that place, whereby we are becoming so agnostic, we are becoming so godless as a people. In fact, we teach, there are so many new age teachings, we teach that we ourselves are God, that the universe is God. There is so much religious pluralism. And you can believe in anything, the world will celebrate you. But don't you dare believe in the God of the Bible. Then the world will have a problem with you. And so I need us to go back to biblical Christianity. I need us as a people to go back to our roots, to go back to our first love. that we also become biblical in our Christianity, that we become accurate representations of what God intended for us to be, that we contend for the gospel, that we contend for the faith, that we stand out in our generation, that we be bold, that we be brave. I am longing for a generation. I am longing for a people who will stand on the truth of God's word. I'm longing for a people who will defend their faith. So we need to be a people who are able to clearly teach biblical truths, to clearly communicate them and also defend them. That is the greatest assignment for us as a generation, to clearly teach biblical truths and also clearly defend them. We need to defend them. We need to teach them. We also need to teach our people, people who come to our churches, people who fellowship, people who believe in the God of the Bible. We need to teach them how to think biblically. We need to refresh their minds, to renew their minds, because their minds are so populated with all the nonsense of this world, and they've become liberal in their belief, and they've become so accommodating. And the Bible is not accommodating. The Bible is a very exclusive thing. For whosoever believes and calls upon his name shall be saved. That is an exclusive statement, meaning if you don't believe and if you neither call upon his name, you are excluded. So the gospel is something very exclusive. We need to be more radical. We need to be brave enough to speak against the social ills and injustices we find in our generation. We need to be brave and we need to be bold. We need to address the elephant in the room. We need to be able to freely talk about homosexuality without us being labeled as homophobes. Are we so weak? Are we so sensitive that we cannot handle debate anymore? That we cannot contest ideas? That we cannot speak about hard things without labeling those who disagree with us, without criminalizing those who disagree with us? Are we not a democracy? Do we not claim to be that? If we are really a democracy, then there needs to be freedom of speech. There needs to be freedom of expression. But so if our speech is being limited, and if our speech is being classified as hate speech, and we need to talk about hate speech again, because I believe hate speech incites violence and inspires hatred towards another. So simply disagreeing with another person's manner of life, is that really hate speech? Simply disagree. There are many who disagree with our way of life. There are many who disagree with our Christian faith. Are they now having hate speech towards us? You see, this is a double standard. The Bible says a false balance is an abomination to the Lord. So we've got so many false balances and false standards. I know I'm ranting. I just want to get a few things off my chest. And I want to speak to somebody today, and hopefully you will be blessed, and hopefully your mind will be enlightened, and you'll be able to think critically. We are lacking critical thinking in our generation. We are lacking critical thinking as a people. We need to start thinking critically about so many things and so many concepts in our generation. And I believe that we need to be more involved in politics today more than ever before. A few days ago, I was on Expression Radio, and we were just having a discussion about church in politics, and people don't even understand what politics is. They don't understand. Politics, if I was to summarize it, it is an arena of debating ideas, So should the church be involved in politics? Yes, heck yeah, we should be involved in politics. We need to discuss ideas, because the most prominent ideas in politics, they shape our values as a society. So now we need to contend for the soul of our nation. We need to contend for the soul of a society. We need to contend and fight harder than we've ever fought before. We need to preach the gospel. We need to be bold with the gospel, but we also need to take certain actions. We also need to be found in certain platforms so that we can debate ideas, so that we can instill our Christian values, our Christian worldview. Because if we are not involved in this system, we're going to find ourselves in a very difficult time and an uncomfortable time. So let me narrate to you a story. There was once a time, as you know, I am a pastor, right? I'm leading a congregation right in the heart of the Pretoria CBD, Living Oracles Tabernacle. And I'm also leading a ministry, Cyril Ministries. Enough of that. So we marry people and stuff like that, So I was considering getting a marriage license, so that I can officially just sign and have people married, so that we don't bless them and then they go to home affairs. Our people, they marry many times. They first marry Bansalabola, and then they marry again, being blessed at church, and then they marry again, white wedding, and then they marry again, traditional wedding, and then they go again to home affairs and they marry again. Our people marry so many times and they marry so often, So I wanted to just make minimize this thing, So I wanted to get that marriage certificate. But I stopped the process. And my reason for stopping that process is because I realized that I will then be an agent of home affairs. And as an agent of home affairs, I cannot discriminate. I can't discriminate. Do you know what that means? It means if a person with a different value set than mine, a person who does not honor marriage the way I believe marriage to be, let's say a lesbian couple or another homosexual couple, they come and they say I must marry them. If I don't believe in that, I have no right not to marry them if I am a licensed marriage practitioner by Home Affairs, because I'm not a representative of state. And should I refuse, I can get in very legal troubles. So I started thinking critically that, I am not going to get this license. Now I can freely say no. And when someone tries to take me to court and says hate speech, I won't say hate speech, I'll say I don't have the powers to marry you. So you see, this is becoming smart. This is becoming acute with how things are today. We need to be relevant and we need to understand the world we are living in. We need to be wise as serpents and humble as doves. So the playing field is a different one altogether. And we need to rise to the occasion. So what is politics? Politics is just an arena whereby we debate ideas. And I think the church should be debating ideas. Last year, marijuana, cannabis, weed, ntango, whatever you call it, was decriminalized. Not necessarily legalized, but decriminalized. And how did that happen? Someone made an application with the highest court in the land, and then he said it is religious right to smoke weed. That's how you connect on whatever, and then it was decriminalized. And many people are like, what is the church doing? What is the church doing? It is neither here nor there. There is a weak argument, because when you look at this, somebody went and argued their case with the highest court in the land, and they won their case. We as a church, we are able to do the same. We should be taking civil actions, making litigations, contesting, having movements, so that we can propagate our ideas and value sets. Now, do not be narrow-minded and be myopic and think when I'm speaking about church and politics, I'm speaking about voting for a particular candidate and having an exclusive party. Yes, we can have a party, we can have candidates, we can have all those things because we have a party political system, right? But there is more to the concept of politics and the church than how we narrowly think, because it is the contestation of ideas. Let me show you something right now. Our nation, Stats SA says about if I'm accurate with my latest readings, about 80% people identify themselves as Christian in our nation, but our nation is secular. How can the majority of the nation have a particular view, ascribe to a particular thing, but we call our nation secular? So we need to contest this idea, because if we don't, we're gonna degenerate, and soon enough it will be illegal to preach the gospel as raw as it is. It will be illegal. As I speak right now, we are being censored. We can't say certain things anymore. We are being censored. There is censorship happening to the gospel. And we cannot tolerate that. I think we've been cowards long enough. We need to stand up. We need to rise. We need to contend for the faith. We need to contend for our belief system. Are you with me, Zion? Do you hear me? Do you understand me? So we have to contest for ideas. So in a country like ours, which is mostly Christian, we have had in the past 25 years to 30 years an influx of Islamic ideas which are now beginning to to shape our value system Islamic ideas. Yes. You don't believe me? Two things. We have halal, we have Sharia. Sharia is a way Muslims govern. So we now have Sharia banking in our land. And Sharia banking, they simply bank in their own way. Meaning a Muslim person, you are not allowed them to touch them, to charge them certain interests and credit and stuff like that. You can't charge them like we are being charged. I know I am oversimplifying it, I am aware. Okay, I'm aware that I'm oversimplifying it, but I'm just trying to make you mad enough to understand what is my problem with this. Meaning they get to be treated differently by our banks because of their beliefs. Do you actually see that the banks are now discriminating on others? They are negatively discriminating. They are positively discriminating to the Muslim. Is a positive discrimination to them. But to us, it is a negative discrimination because the laws are different with them. Banking is not the same with them. They don't get charged the same interest as you and I are charged only because of what they believe in. Now, is that unfair? You see, we need to start thinking critically. So Sharia banking is the new order of the day. Almost every bank is Sharia now. Almost. I have no problem with a strictly Islamic bank doing things like that. I've got no problem with that. But with our major corporate banks to be doing that, something is aloof. Something just does not add up. Do you see my point? Okay, let me rubber stamp it. We now have halal. Halal is basically how Muslims have to kill their food and prepare their food and stuff like that. Almost everything in this nation to eat is halal certified. Almost everything is halal certified. And in order for you to be halal certified, you need approval. Look, I'm dropping my mic. It's live. I hope you guys can still hear me. In the comments, they tell me you can still hear me. You guys still hear me, Musne? I hope so. So, what we learn with this is that you must be approved by the Muslim Judicial Council, something like that, right? And then there's a certain fee, annual fee you pay, and then your halal certificate is renewed. Restaurants and people who make food, they comply with halal. There's a fee they pay. As a business person, when there's a fee to pay, you mock it up, and then you include it in the price that people pay. That means when we are buying our food, we are incentivizing the Muslim Judicial Council. And the Muslim Judicial Council, therefore, has finances to do Islamic things in our nation. And we are financing that indirectly by halal. Do you see that we've got a cause to fight? But people don't see, because we want to be so inclusive. We don't even think. So we need to take civil action. We need to take civil action. Even we as Christians, we need to go further. We need to unite. We need to be one. I know we have many differences, but there are so many things we agree on and fewer things that we disagree on. And we need to just be involved, sign petitions, start movements, If I talk about the church in politics, let me show you something. There are various forms of government in our nation. Okay, throughout the ages, there have been different forms of government. We've been having monarchies, we've had the apartheid government. We've been having different types and various types of governments, democracies, stuff like that. And as Christians, we are advocating for theocracy. God is in charge. Our values are entrenched in society. That is what I'm contending for. I'm not contending for having a candidate in a position, because it does us no good having a Christian candidate in a Babylonian system. Yes, there might be little benefits. It might make us look good. But really, if the system is wrong, having our representative in that system, he may try to change it here and there, but it's better if we take civil action and change the system and just rise up and use the power in our numbers. There is so much that we can do. There is so much change that we can effect. So much change. I believe that we as Christians, We have been asleep for a long time, and it's now time for us to arise. It's now time for us to occupy. It's now time for us to start making changes. Start having TV channels, start having platforms of our own, and start using the power in our numbers. Because there is power in our numbers, and people, they will want our buying power. They would, if only we would unite, if only we would unite. I mean, a few years ago, when I was growing up, I'd be shy to even watch people kissing on TV with my parents around. Today, we just see pornography live on TV, like there's nothing wrong. Like there's nothing wrong with it. We have Pornhub. Don't act surprised. If I go to your search history, we'll find stuff. We have Pornhub and stuff like that. And these people, they are the ones involved in human trafficking. They are the ones involved. There are so many petitions against them. People speaking out that they were trafficked through Pornhub. Well, now you are going and you are Googling it. Little do you know. So, but the forms of government have been changing. So now, the state today, as we know it, there are three forms of government. It is the executive, which is cabinet, the president and the ministers. We have legislative, where they make laws, which is, parliament and stuff like that. All the parties are involved there. And then we have the judiciary, those who execute the laws and stuff like that. So there are three arms of state, So we can start taking civil action and doing things, to infiltrate and cause to become. There are so many things that we can do to change society and to fight for the soul of society. We need to be involved in nation building. We need to build our nation again. We need to be involved in nation building. That's why I like Trump. He's not a nice guy, I agree. But I like that he's vocal about Jesus. Yes, we can disagree, but I like that he's vocal about Jesus. I like that. Others are cowards. They can't be as vocal because they want to look inclusive. They want to say, no, I'm everybody's president. I want to express my religious belief. They are cowards. We have so many cowards. That's why we don't have martyrs anymore. Because Christians are cowards. I know I am ranting. But can you agree with me? Can you see some truth in what I am saying? So, let me show you something. Should we really be involved in... Okay, I can see you read the comments there, it's Amo. Let me put it like this. I don't want to make this a long and a prolonged thing. Leave me your comments. Leave me your comments. Tell me what you think. I'll respond to them. And we'll have a one-on-one. Whereby I engage with the comments and stuff like that, So you can, start talking about civil action and stuff like that. This was a random live stream. And be sure to visit my website, cerilpetersen.co.za. Subscribe to my blog, to my newsletter as well. And you will get all those notifications. And also, if you want to bless the ministry in our website, there are platforms to do so and fund and stuff like that. And see you on the